the environmental studies and engineering studies that would lead up to a formal license application later on. It's not going to buy any equipment. We would have to go, PG&E would have to go to the California Public Utility Commission like we would for any new power plant, new transmission system, new substation, and get authorization and approval from the Utility Commission to spend money on buying equipment and building this project and operating this project, without which we could not do the project. So we not only have to get permission from FERC and California State Lands and Marine Fisheries and a lot of other agencies, we have to have the California Public Utility Commission say, yes, you can spend the money.
So through this summary of activities, the schedule that we have in front of us, the $6 million you're referencing from this emerging renewable fund from the PUC, what activities are covered from this list from, or will be, or you're contemplating, will be covered by that $6 million? Is it all of these activities or a portion of them?
Everything on here. For the reason that our preliminary permit does not allow us to do anything beyond studies.
Could you elaborate a little bit on the second section again on the authorizations and field studies? What would these field studies entail? Can you give us some idea of what we're talking about here?
Yeah, I can only speak to it generally. I mean, we would want to look at everything from wildlife migration, both birds as well as marine mammals, fish. We would want to look at ocean environmental phenomena such as the Pacific upwelling. We would be very concerned with studying and detailing whale migration paths and potential interactions with this project. It is our intent in all of these to design and place a project that minimizes any impact on these existing environmental systems, with the intention of eliminating as much as we can. This is a project that we, as PG&E, will have to live with for a long time, and we view this as an opportunity to have a world-class wave energy project that will actually be a center of scientific and renewable energy expert visitation. We'll be setting, blazing the path, literally, for this renewable technology.
So moving on now to section 4, where it talks about conduct studies for FERC and other appropriate federal, state, and local agencies. What studies are you contemplating here?
We will meet with each of these agencies. I think that's the answer to your question is that we're going to meet with agencies to then get what their requirements will be. Because, and largely because, wave energy devices are new. It's not as though we've done 100 of these before, as we have with hydroelectric dams, and we would know exactly what would be required. This is going to be an interactive exchange with these regulatory bodies, with the county, and with other stakeholders. We're going to be trailblazing, but we're going to do it in an incremental fashion. I think that a term that is going to be used a lot is, I'm forgetting the exact term, but it is something where you are going to propose something, everyone's going to think about it, and then you're going to implement it, and if there are any problems with the implementation, then you'll stop and reconsider before you go forward again, and you may even simply pull it out. It's also our intention, which will be required by FERC, that whatever project that we eventually propose will be completely removable. If it is necessary, either by order of the regulatory agencies or because PG&E believes that it has served its useful life, and we decommission this project, it is going to be removed in its entirety, including everything associated with the project, the moorings, the subsea cable infrastructure, everything. And we will supply reserve funds in our project budget to cover that eventuality, no matter how far in the future it is.
Still in that same section, you reference the California State Lands Commission as the CEQA lead agency on this.
Yes.
What do you perceive the Coastal Commission's role would be?
We have not met yet with the California State Lands Commission. We will have to go to them for a lease of state lands that reside within the 3-mile offshore line. And quite honestly, I can't tell you what I think they're going to require of us, as this will be PG&E's first off-land, offshore project. So we're going to have to sit down with them and solicit their instruction and advice, which we will have to follow.
And in reference to the Coastal Commission, what do you perceive at this juncture that their role is going to be?
I just want to go back to the Wave Energy Forum on January 19th, where there was a representative of the California Coastal Commission sitting on the panel with the State Lands Commission representative, and that representative from the Coastal Commission said that State Lands, as the CEQA lead, would sort of have the first crack at this, and they would be looking at things like what onshore facilities would be there. They'd be looking. They were concerned primarily with entrainment of sea life within the devices, and those are some of the things they'll be looking at. But they definitely indicated they would be playing a role in concert with the California State Lands Commission.
So you haven't yet met with the Coastal Commission?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. So I attended the meeting last night in Fort Bragg, and I commend you for following up after that and creating more of an agenda so we could have some more substantive discussion. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
And we didn't last night because we simply didn't have this in the form that we felt was distributable, and we worked all through the night listening to the comments last night to have this in front of you today.
And we will be sharing this with the City Council today.
Supervisor Pinches.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of questions. Is it true that the only reason you have to go through the Public Utilities Commission is because to get their approval so you can pass the cost of the experiment on to the ratepayers?
That's correct.
I want to make that point. This is just an experiment. How come PG&E, as a company that is interested in power generation, has been so reluctant to get into the cogeneration of waste wood products, which is not an experiment, but a very proven, very successful way to produce cheap energy? Why is PG&E, it seems to me like, why are they doing and spending this money and passing it through the ratepayers for this experiment when there's existing technology out there, and we in an area that has a tremendous amount of waste wood? Why wouldn't PG&E be investing, if they're going to invest ratepayers' dollars into cheap energy sources, why wouldn't they go into the cogeneration business, waste wood?
It is our intention to pursue utility development and ownership of biomass waste fuel projects. We do not have any on our docket right now, but my group at PG&E, by the way, is called the Renewable Resource Development Group. We are charged with developing for utility ownership solar energy facilities, including the very large-scale solar thermal in the desert types of facilities, large programs for rooftop photovoltaics, wind energy generation. We call it cow power, but it is the capturing of methane from dairy waste that can be cleaned up and used directly in our natural gas pipeline system for further use.